It's time for another film room, and on this episode, we're going to head to the offensive line, and we're going to take a look at Maryland's left tackle, Jaelyn Duncan. Jaelyn Duncan is probably one of my favorite prospects in this draft class. Didn't have a lot of expectations watching him, and probably from play 2, I fell in love. And so I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get to know Maryland's offensive tackle, Jaelyn Duncan. All right, the first thing that really stood out to me about Jaelyn Duncan was just his athleticism and his ability to get depth in his drops to shut off even the most dynamic pass rushers. Here against Michigan, he's facing off against not only David Ojabo, but Aiden Hutchinson. Two guys. Aiden Hutchinson was the number 2 pick in the NFL draft in 2021-22. And David Ojabo would have been a first-round pick if he didn't tear his Achilles in his pro day. And he went in the second round. So on this play, Jaelyn Duncan is the left tackle, number 71 right here. David Ojabo's lined up to the outside. So at the snap, David Ojabo's able to easily fall back, drop back, and then get his hands in and to the shoulder of Ojabo and kind of rock him back, you see there. And he's doing this all under control, showing that elite athleticism to do so. So if I go all the way back and we watch it at full speed, just his ability to drop back, get that push, and Ojabo had nowhere to go. Ojabo tried to go maybe inside, tried to go a little bit of speed to power, and Duncan just stoned him and even rocked him back a little bit. Here against Aiden Hutchinson, once again, Duncan's able to get depth, and then what I like here is he goes and he attacks Aiden Hutchinson. He goes after him to stop him from turning that corner. And just that ability to get that depth to match that speed that Hutchinson has, and then the aggressiveness to get out towards him and attack him. You see how he comes off, gets those hands in. I know, Hutchinson's hand gets in there a little bit first, but Duncan's able to get his hands on him, lock him in, and just ride him and stop him from turning that corner. We see another clip against Aiden Hutchinson, and here Duncan's able to get that depth, and Hutchinson's able to get that inside stab on him. And usually when a defender's able to get that initial contact, that's not a good sign for the tackle. But as we see here with Duncan, he's able to absorb. Not only does he get that stab to his chest, but then Duncan's able to then lock in his hands on Hutchinson. And then you see here, just kind of manhandle him, pushing him past the pocket to get that stop. And it's just that ability, once again, to be in that. Look where he's at. He's in the perfect spot. He's squared up to Hutchinson. He's got good, maybe a little bit better knee bend. That's being nitpicky. Got that forward lean, and he's able to just be on good balance, be on good enough bend, and just use that upper body strength to take and manhandle, maybe get away with a little hold there at the very end, but just use his athleticism, use that upper body strength to stop a premier pass rusher in college football and maybe the NFL. Now, I just got done showing you a couple clips of Duncan stopping speed pass rushers. David Ojabo, speed pass rusher. Aiden Hutchinson, more of a power type guy, but he tested it out of the building at the combine. What I like about this clip here is this slot corner, this inside corner, is going to blitz. And Jaelyn Duncan is going to see that out of the corner of his eye, and then he's able to get that natural depth. I mean, he's able to just drop down there, pick him up. I know it was a runaway. It wasn't a true pass set. But just that ability, and we see it from the end zone view here, just to see that coming and just that athleticism to get out and stone him. And it's just, I get it, it's a runaway, but he just showcases that athleticism, the ability to get depth, and the ability to get good, quick depth. And you just don't see that, a lot out of offensive tackles. Now, up until this point, I've done nothing but pass sets for Jaelyn Duncan. And that was, I mean, it's a passing league. And so he's got to be able to pass block. And I love his athleticism and his upper body strength as a pass blocker. But we also got to talk about run blocking. And he is just as good, in my opinion. Now, the caveat is he's not a powerful mover. He's not going to maul you over in that. More likely, like in this clip, he's going to use his speed and athleticism to engage and then seal off. Here he seals off this outside linebacker and gives his running back, who ended up cutting back, a running lane. But that's the type of blocker he is. He's going to use his quickness, use his lateral agility to engage with you, and then he's going to seal you off to give a running lane, a seam to the running back. Then, as we see in a clip like this, and in a zone run, look at this athleticism where he's able to go right, engage, and just drive. This is where you see a little bit of that power. Now, I get it, the defensive tackle is already knocked back by the left guard, and Duncan caught him off balance, but he's able to use his strength and his athleticism to just kind of push him past the pocket, and he was able to get there with that lateral quickness and that agility. And I think you put him in a zone scheme, he is going to be a perfect fit. And then in this clip along the goal line, we're going to see Duncan, once again, slide to his left to engage, sees that his left guard is got this guy, and then I just love this quick little move right here to make that little lateral move to get to that flowing linebacker, cut him off to allow his running back to get into the end zone. It's just right here. He sees that linebacker flowing, and just that quick move just to come off, seal him off, and let that running back get into the end zone. It's just that athleticism just shows up at every single thing that he does. And then I couldn't talk about Jaelyn Duncan's athleticism and not show a clip like this. Maryland and Mike Loxley's brilliant in how they use him, and they put him on the move too. And so on this play, he's going to pull, and just watch the lead block. He's able to get through. He's like a fullback here, and he just pulls through this hole and just rocks this linebacker, knocks him back, lets the running back gets past him, and he just moves like a back almost at times. And, wasn't the cleanest punch, but just getting his hands there, was able to knock the linebacker back a little bit. And I just love his athleticism. And it's plays like this. This is one of the first plays that I saw from Jaelyn Duncan in this game. And it's just how I kind of fell in love with him as a prospect. As I said at the beginning, I am a huge fan of Jaelyn Duncan as a prospect. This offensive tackle class so far in the 2023 NFL draft isn't looking the greatest. And I think Jaelyn Duncan is the clear top offensive tackle. He's got everything that you want. It's a passing league, so he can pass protect. He's got that ability to make quick, smooth drops, get depth, be in a great position. He's not off balance trying to get deep. He's in a good position, good knee bend, good base, and he's able to use his heavy hands. Now he needs to work on things. He still needs to get a little bit stronger. Sometimes when he does drop, he can be a little high, but he's got that athleticism to work with. He's got heavy hands. He's got great size. The guy's 6'6", 320 pounds. So we're seeing him move around in that. A lot of times when you see an offensive tackle move as fast, as quick, as agile as he is, they're like hovering around that 300. He's 320 pounds. He looks thick. He looks like he's got good length. His hands look massive. He's got everything that you want. Maybe you'd like him to be a little bit more physical in the run game, but I think he's able to do what he needs to do. And I think he'd be a perfect fit in a zone-based scheme. But I think if you're a man blocking gap type scheme, I think he can fit within that well as also. And at this point, he's a top 10 prospect for me. I know it's early. The college football season hasn't even started at this point. But he's a redshirt senior. He's a guy that's been a starter for this will be his fourth straight year. Ever since he started playing, he redshirted his first year, started as a left tackle the next year. And he's been that rock-solid presence for Maryland that entire time. So I like him. He reminds me a lot of Trent Williams, and I know that's a super lofty comparison, but just his athleticism, the way he plays, I don't know if he'll ever be as good as Trent Williams. I don't know if a lot of people will ever be as good as Trent Williams, but his playing style, his upside, I think is there. And like I said, he reminds me so much of, the former Washington left tackle and now 49ers left tackle. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of the Film Room. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like this. The best way to get these is to subscribe, so hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell for all your notifications. Make sure you're checking out my page. Plenty of content up there. Also, make sure you're following me on social media. Draft_Brian is where you can find me. Doesn't matter if it's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I'm all over social media. Draft_Brian. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.